Today is December 31st, the last day of 2025, and Death Comes to Pemberley is the last book I'm reading this year. What makes this moment special for me is not just the book, but the fact that I started reading again. I was on a reading break for almost 3 years. A long silence, yes. It was only in November 2025 that I truly came back to books, and I came back to classics. If you ask me what made me genuinely happy this year, it is this: reading again and discovering that classics are not old or boring, they are quite gems. I have read more than 15 books in the last 2 months. Most of them are regarded as classics, and it is so true. So today I'll be dealing with my favorite genre, cozy murder mysteries. I am Shalit Jimmy, and this is my channel where I talk about books, stories, and the magic they leave behind. Some books shout at you, they rush you, they want to shock you. But classic mysteries don't do that. They are quiet and are patient, and once you finish them, they don't leave you easily. They stay and haunt. The classic mysteries I read this year all had one thing in common. They did not rely on speed. They did not rely on violence. They trusted the reader, and they trusted silence. The first book in the list is Some Must Watch by Ethel Lina White. This is one of those novels where nothing feels safe. A young woman travels to a remote place, surrounded by people she barely knows, and slowly realizes she may be in danger. There is no dramatic villain introduction, no loved warnings, just unease. Ethel Lina White was a master of quiet fear. The danger creeps in through polite conversations, unfamiliar rooms, and the terrifying thought that help may never arrive. This book proves that you don't need violence to create fear, you just need isolation. The next book in the list is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This is not a detective story. There is no Poirot, no Holmes. Just 10 people trapped together and a rhyme that predicts their deaths. What makes this novel chilling is its simplicity. No one can escape, no one can be trusted, and slowly everyone begins to realize guilt is the real judge here. Christie doesn't just ask who committed the crime, she asks whether anyone deserves to survive. It's a mystery that turns into a psychological trial, and that is why it still unsettles readers. The next book is The Hound of Baskerville by Arthur Conan Doyle, and this is my personal favorite. This is Sherlock Holmes at his most atmospheric. A cursed family, a lonely moor, and a legend of a supernatural hound stalking its victims. What makes this story powerful is how it balances reason and fear. Even the most logical mind can feel shaken when darkness, isolation, and folklore collide. Doyle reminds us that fear doesn't disappear just because we understand science. Sometimes belief itself becomes the enemy. Next in the list is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is not a murder mystery in the usual sense, but it is one of the most haunting books ever written. Imagine living in a house where you are never alone, not because of people, but because of a memory. A house filled with memory, a woman who is never present, yet present everywhere. Rebecca is a novel where the past refuses to stay buried, and love feels like a competition you can never win. Rebecca shows us that fear can live in rooms, in names, in silence. You don't need a ghost when the past refuses to leave. This one is also my personal favorite, and the name is Picture Perfect and Other Byomkesh Bakshi Stories by Sharadindu Bandyopadhyay. These stories reminds us why short mysteries are powerful. In Picture Perfect, Byomkesh Bakshi, the detective, steps into a world where nothing is as neat as it looks. Behind ordinary lives and quiet streets lie secrets people are desperate to protect. These stories reminds us that danger doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it waits calmly, posing as normal life. And the last in the list is Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. Ending my reading year with this book felt right. It brings together love, familiarity, and murder. Pemberley is a place we associate with elegance, romance, and order. It is where Elizabeth Bennet found happiness and Darcy found love. But what happens when death enters that perfect world? Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James breaks the illusion and reminds us that even the most civilized houses can hide dark secrets. It felt like closing the year with something I had waited for, something I truly wanted to read. Reading classics again reminded me of something important. Good books don't rush you, they wait for you to be ready. This year, I returned to reading and I returned to myself. If you're someone who loves quiet stories, slow mysteries, and books that stay with you, these classics are worth your time. They don't shout, but they haunt. Happy New Year and God bless you.